The Twins signed Alex Colome. The Rays are interested in Marcell Ozuna, and we're going to talk about any way possible that could happen with the Rays' ways of doing things with a lower payroll. Colton Wong signed with the Milwaukee Brewers, and Sean Doolittle signed with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. So we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. But before you get into this video, 68% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Leave a like. And let's go ahead and get into this video talking about the moves and the Tampa Bay Rays and Marcell Ozuna maybe into the Rays. So that's what we're going to talk about. Twins signed Alex Colome earlier in the day to a 1-year, $6 million contract. Now, this is not what I expected Colome to get. I was thinking like 3 years, $39 million. I said that in other videos. But my problem there was I wasn't taking into account the COVID market, and that's what you really got to take into account here. He goes to the division rival with the Twins, where he was with the division rival White Sox last year in 2020. So Alex Colome, he's had a good MLB career so far. It was reported earlier in the day that the Twins had strong interest in Alex Colome. He's an all-star in 2016. 2020, great season. There's no two ways about it. 2-0 with an 0.81 ERA, 21 games, 12 saves. So he had a great 2020 season, to say the least. And overall in his MLB career, 28 and 23 with a 2.95 ERA. And for this Twins team, this makes them a ton better because I've said all offseason they need bullpen help. And that's what they're looking towards here. And that's what I really like about their plan heading into 2021. They are addressing their needs. They got their shortstop in Andrelton Simmons. Royce Lewis, yes, he will be up soon. But Andrelton Simmons is a great mentor, if nothing else, for a player like a Royce Lewis, especially on the defensive side of the baseball. Andrelton Simmons provides not much on the offensive side, but he's very good defensively. But we're here to talk about Alex Colome. 4-5 with a 2.80 ERA, 62 games, 30 saves. I don't care if you get 2019, 2018, 2020, whichever Alex Colome self, you're going to get a solid relief pitcher in Alex Colome. And that's what you want here. That's what you want in a signing. You want him to be the closer that you can go to in the ninth inning. And I believe Alex Colome is that type of guy. I think he could be a top 10 relief pitcher, arguably, in baseball right now. And he's played for the Rays, Mariners, White Sox. And this is a cheap deal for a player like a Alex Colome. And your team immediately looks a lot better, and your bullpen looks a lot better too, because they signed Marcell Ozuna earlier this offseason, who could be a solid pickup for them if he can play decent. Taylor Rogers, he's going to be pretty decent, and you expect him to be pretty decent. Tyler Duffy's another good arm here. Your bullpen is automatically a lot better, not to mention that your team overall is a lot better, and I still think you could sign maybe a Brendan Workman, a Ken Giles, a player like that, and that's what I really like about this Twins team. They're not too high in the salary cap, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong there. But here's what your bullpen looks like. You've got Alex Colome probably coming in the ninth inning, Taylor Rogers in the eighth inning, Tyler Duffy in the seventh inning, Marcell Ozuna and some others will be there besides that. Jose Barrios, Kenta Maeda, J.A. Happ in your starting rotation. So what are these Twins team needs after this signing of Alex Colome? It is definitely another starting pitcher, a number 3 starting pitcher, whether it brings back James Paxton or whatever, and one more relief pitcher. I think a Ken Giles would be a perfect fit on the Twins. So very good move by the Twins. I like that move. But let's move on here to talk about Kolten Wong. Brewers signed Kolten Wong, which is very interesting to me. I definitely did not see this one coming. But I've got an idea that maybe other people don't, that they have with Kolten Wong here, because they have Keston Hiura at second base here. And it really, honestly, does not make a ton of sense for them to sign Kolten Wong. Now, do I like the move for the Brewers? That's the question that you're probably wondering here. I don't hate the move, but I'm just not like, that's going to be a great move. Because Kolten Wong, 2 years, $18 million to come off the bench. I don't know. 2019 was a decent season for him. 11 home runs, 59 RBIs, 285 batting average, 1 home run, 16 RBIs, and a 265 batting average. He hasn't had a bad MLB career. His fielding is Gold Glove level, and he's already won 2 Gold Gloves, once in 2019 and once in 2020. So he's going to be great defensively. And I've seen the idea of maybe going around like Keston Hiura would be moved to the first base position because they could use a first baseman. That's kind of what Fangraphs is projecting here, which I actually like the move of that. If you can move Keston Hiura to first base and get a significant upgrade with Kolten Wong defensively, and Kolten Wong is not good offensively, but it's not like he's just going to be, oh my gosh, Kolten Wong, he's going to strike out every time. So, yeah, this is a decent move, a move that doesn't make a ton of sense unless you're moving Keston Hiura to first base, which is what it looks like here. Overall, I like this signing. It is a pretty good signing for the Brewers. Next move we have to talk about here is Sean Doolittle signing with the Cincinnati Reds, former two-time All-Star, to the Reds. Now, the Reds, I personally think that this is a great signing for the Reds, and this is the best thing that could happen to Sean Doolittle's career right here. And that's because their bullpen is limited. Now, they do have Amir Garrett in the bullpen, but their bullpen is not too good. And Sean Doolittle could really turn around his career there in Cincinnati because his career has been good, but his 2020 season was not very good. And we've seen pitchers like Sonny Gray, Trevor Bauer, who Trevor Bauer wasn't necessarily on the decline. He was much better in Cincinnati. Same with Sonny Gray. So here's the thing with the Reds. If the Reds don't tear it up, then they can compete in the NL Central. It's not a very tough NL Central, and if they keep their current roster, they can definitely compete with a little bit more pitching. Their starting pitching is pretty decent. I still think they could use another arm maybe in that starting pitching because I don't know that Michael Lorenzen's really a starter. I think he's more of a good relief pitching arm. But you start to see where the bullpen is starting to form its shape with T.J. Antone, Sean Doolittle, Lucas Sims, Amir Garrett. That is a decent 7th, 8th, 9th inning little thing right there for the Reds. So Amir Garrett, Lucas Sims, Sean Doolittle is pretty dangerous. Now, I think Doolittle's coming in the 9th, Garrett in the 8th, and Sims in the 7th. But if you can get the same production out of Sims that you had in 2020, then that bullpen's going to be looking a lot better. So this Reds team can still compete with Shogo Akiyama, Nick Castellanos, Joey Votto, Eugenio Suarez, Mike Moustakas, Jesse Winker. They've got a lot of good players. And this move, I think, is a underrated move that could definitely be one of the moves that you look at to be one of the most underrated moves of the offseason. And, yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about Marcell Ozuna possibly to the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, let's talk about the Rays. And they have been interested in Marcell Ozuna. Now, I know a lot of people are saying the Rays do not spend a lot of money, and that's very, very true. The Rays do not spend a lot of money. But one thing they have, here's what I could see happening here, is Marcell Ozuna could either sign a 1-year, $20-ish million contract, $15 to $20 million. If you're looking at what Nelson Cruz got, even though he is quite older than Marcell Ozuna, he got a $13 million contract. So you're going to think that Ozuna is going to get more than that, probably at $16 to $20 million a year. I think that the Rays could get Ozuna on a shorter deal. I think a 2 years $40 million or 1 year $20 million would work. I don't think they're paying him more than 2 years. The Rays do not really like to commit to a lot of long-term contracts. And their depth chart, you look at right now, their DH is, they're saying Austin Meadows, but he plays more of the outfield, so that's more like Yossi Testugo or whatever his name is. I'm sorry that I can't pronounce his name, but, okay. So, Ozuna here. The more and more I think about this fit, the more and more I like this fit because the Rays have remarkable pitching with Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Yarbrough, Michael Wacha, Chris Archer, Pete Fairbanks, Nick Anderson, Diego Castillo, so many people in that bullpen, and you even have Brent Honeywell, Brendan McKay, who may not pitch in 2021, but still very, very good pitchers that could come up at some point. You've even got Luis Patino, who they got in the trade for Blake Snell, who could be very, very good too. And yeah, they finished 40-20 in 2020. Even though losing Blake Snell definitely does hurt, Marcell Ozuna would make that taste feel a lot better in Rays fans' mouth. And 18 home runs, 56 RBIs, and a 338 batting average. I absolutely love the idea of the Rays trying to sign a player like a Marcell Ozuna, even though it would have to be on a shorter term deal. I think that might be what Marcell Ozuna is leaning towards here, like a 2 or less year contract. I think that could happen. Maybe he's looking for a longer deal, longer contract. I'm no insider. I just know what the news people tell. So yeah, but I really like the idea. Even 29 home runs, 89 RBIs, 241 batting average. People forget how good Ozuna is. 276 batting average in his career with 166 home runs and 594 RBIs. And just like every other designated hitter in the league, he can strike out a lot. He can. It happens. But he's a two-time NL All-Star, once in 2016 and 2017, All-MLB first team in 2020. So he probably would have got that All-Star selection definitely in 2020. And he was a two-time NL Silver Slugger. So I absolutely love the idea of the Rays signing Ozuna because it would make a ton of sense too here because they need to make a move this offseason. Trading Blake Snell and some of the other moves, they just really need to make a move because George Springer was signed by the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are making a lot of moves. Even they signed Kirby Yates and other players. And the Yankees, they've got Jameson Tide, Corey Kluber, re-signed LeMahieu. So they need to make a move. And Ozuna, I think, would be a perfect fit. It's just, are they willing to pay a player like him $15 to $20 million a year? And if they are willing to commit to one player for that contract, then yes, we saw them dish off the Blake Snell contract to San Diego, which is not a bad contract. It's one of the better contracts in Major League Baseball. So if they're willing to pay it, then I can definitely see Marcell Ozuna on the Rays in 2021. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications because 68% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.